Hold on. Did Camron really just reveal everything you knew about Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamon in court? Yes, you heard that right. In one explosive moment, Camron revealed everything you thought you knew about these two people. Jim Jones, the notorious rapper with a history of shady dealings, is now facing serious consequences because of a shocking revelation about his relationship with Chrissy Lumpkin. What exactly happened in that courtroom? Well, it's not pretty. Camron didn't just share some gossip. He dropped a bombshell that could end careers. Jim Jones has always been associated with controversy, but now that she's caught in the middle of this mess. It's no secret that the hip-hop industry is full of drama, betrayal, and messy love affairs, but what Camron just revealed in that courtroom takes things to a whole new level. Let's break this down. Jim Jones, the rapper who has always been all about that street life and gangster mentality, is now facing some serious heat, and the world is in complete shock. Why? Because Camron just exposed everything. The courtroom was electrifying. For those of you who may have missed it, let's go back a little. Jim Jones and Camron were once the dynamic duo of the rap game, but as we all know, even the strongest partnerships have their breaking points, and that's where Chrissy Elkin comes into play. Don't get it twisted, Chrissy Lamon isn't just Jim Jones's partner in crime. She's been at the center of multiple controversies, and her name has been linked to the drama from the beginning. However, when Camron dropped that bombshell in court, it wasn't just about Jim Jones. Rather, it was about exposing the web of lies and deceit that had been simmering beneath the surface for years. Regarding Chrissy Lynn's dubious involvement in Jim Jones's business, was she merely his encouraging girlfriend, or was there something more sinister going on behind closed doors? Camron's response to that question was as explosive as possible, and the accusations are far worse than anyone could have predicted. However, before we get into all of that, let's look at the background of all of this chaos. Jim Jones has a pop reputation, right? He built his career on controversy and street credibility. You don't get to the top by being cut and following the rules. Chrissy Lamkin, on the other hand, has been by his side throughout it all, leaving her own legacy, primarily from her role on Love and Hip Hop, where the cameras couldn't stop. Capturing her ride-or-die attitude, but is that really the case? Or is there something darker and more sinister lurking in the background? That's the question Camron is now asking, and believe me, the answer isn't pretty. To set the scene, Camron finally decides to air out the dirty laundry after years of silence, and when he takes the stand, he doesn't hold back, according to anonymous sources. I should also add that Camron was prepared to bring the heat. The first bombshell, the one no one saw coming, seems to have been able to access Jim Jones's private correspondence with Chrissy. What Lamkin discovered was nothing short of astounding. In one of his remarks, Camron disclosed that Chrissy Lamon had been heavily involved in some dubious activities during the height of Jim Jones's career. By dubious, I mean things that could ruin their reputation. We're talking about illicit activities, money laundering, secret meetings with dubious people, you name it. However, it's not just about what they did. What's really scandalous is how they've managed to hide it for all these years. You see, Jim Jones has always kept his business dealings close to the chest. He's made millions and kept his nose clean in the public eye. But behind the scenes, there's been a whole other world of dealings. Camron claims to have the receipts, and what he revealed in that courtroom was enough to make even the most ardent fans question everything they believed they knew about Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamon. What Camron revealed is the stuff that will keep you up at night. We're talking about high-stakes money games, secret alliances, and betrayals that go deeper than anyone could have imagined. Chrissy Lamon, who has always been the devoted girlfriend, on the surface turns out to be much more involved in Jim Jones's shady activities than we ever imagined. The bombshells keep coming, and Camron isn't finished yet. They have always been presented as this devoted together couple, correct? However, Camron claims that it's all been a show. In fact, Chrissy Lamon was the mastermind behind much of the drama. She was pulling strings from behind the scenes, and Camron simply pulled the curtain back on it all. So what exactly did Camron reveal in court? Was it Jim Jones who was pulling strings the entire time, or was it Chrissy Lamkin? Camron made it clear that the entire relationship has been built on a shaky foundation of lies, manipulation, and shady deals. The public was shocked as the scandal started to unfold, but what was Jim Jones's response? Was he prepared to fight back, or did he know it was over? What about Chrissy Lumpkin? How does she fit into all of this? These are the questions that everyone wants answers to, and believe me, it's only going to get crazier from here. But wait, because things are about to get even crazier. Camron isn't the only one with dirt, and as the investigation continues, more leaks are beginning to surface. This scandal is just getting started, and in the next section, we'll break down the shocking details of how Jim Jones and Chrissy Elkin will deal with this whole situation. Stay tuned, because this is far from over. Now that we've set the scene and introduced the players, it's time to examine the core of this scandal, the full scope of what Camron just revealed in that courtroom. And let me tell you, this isn't your typical celebrity feud. This is the kind of drama that makes you reevaluate everything you believe you know about the people you've been watching for years. We all know that Jim Jones and Camron have had problems, but the tension was evident when Camron entered the courtroom. This wasn't just about two old friends sharing personal secrets, rather it was about revealing years of deceit and manipulation that could lead to Jim Jones and Chrissy Elkin's downfall. When I say shady, I mean outright criminal activity. Let's examine what Camron disclosed because you won't believe the amount of dirt he's been hiding. For those who don't know, Jim Jones has long been a figure in the rap game, known for his affiliation with Dipset and his close ties to the street. However, Camron disclosed that Jim Jones was not only operating a rap career, but also a business, and this business was not the type of business you would want the public to be aware of. According to Camron, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampin were heavily involved in a multi-state money laundering scheme. They weren't simply living the high life on the money of the music industry. Rather, they were using shell companies to create fictitious businesses in order to conceal the true source of their wealth. And guess who was right there with him? Chrissy Lampkin, the woman who has made a career out of being a loving, supportive girlfriend, was allegedly the mastermind behind this entire operation. Would cause anyone to wonder how much we truly know about our favorite reality TV stars. The money laundering wasn't just a few shady transactions here and there. Camron also revealed receipts that demonstrated how Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin were laundering millions of dollars by passing money through luxury goods and phony businesses in real estate. Things that would require a true expert to set up. And the most shocking part, how they were able to keep it a secret for so long. But that's not all. Camron also revealed a number of covert meetings between Jim Jones and infamous members of the underground world who had ties to organized crime, and he claimed that Chrissy Lampkin was present at these meetings, helping to, despite the headlines, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin have always been portrayed as the power couple. However, beneath their glossy smiles and ride-or-die attitude, there was always something wrong. Now, thanks to Camron's testimony in court, we're beginning to see the truth. The first leaked report Camron presented showed a detailed money trail. We're talking about wire transfers, offshore accounts, and tax evasion that goes back years. The reports showed how Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin would route millions of dollars through foreign bank accounts. And dummy, it gets worse, though, because it appears that they weren't just keeping money from the government. They were also keeping it from the public and their own team, keeping affiliated individuals in the dark to prevent any potential leaks. In fact, anonymous sources from within their camp claim that Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin were notorious for using intimidation tactics to keep people quiet. Camron revealed the names of people who were allegedly threatened by Jim Jones and his inner circle. It's now evident that the empire they built wasn't based solely on talent. Rather, it was built on secrecy, manipulation, and fear. When the our world was shocked by the Courtroom bombshells, fans who had grown to love Jim Jones for years abruptly started. Questioning everything, what had appeared to be a well-crafted picture of a successful rapper and his loyal girlfriend was beginning to look like a house of cards, and Camron just blew it all to pieces. The backlash was immediate, with both fans and critics expressing their opinions on social media. Jim Jones's exposure trended globally, and others in the industry, including other rappers, producers, and insiders, began to weigh in. Some were quick to defend Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin, saying that Camron was merely resentful and seeking retribution, but others, particularly those who were familiar with the underground hip-hop scene, were quick to believe the accusations. We can't say for sure, but the lack of transparency was undoubtedly concerning. Now that the world is aware of what Camron revealed in court, the legal ramifications are only just starting to unfold. One of the most shocking reactions came from Chrissy Elkin herself. In a statement that sent shockwaves through the media, she denied the allegations and accused Camron of attempting to destroy her and Jim Jones's legacy. However, the tone of her response raised eyebrows because it came across as cold and defensive, a far cry from the warm and loving persona she had developed over the years. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin are already facing numerous lawsuits, conspiracy allegations, money laundering charges, and even racketeering. Federal agents are reportedly looking into their financial affairs, and the pressure is increasing. The worst part is that if the feds truly look into this, there could be severe repercussions, including jail time, millions in fines, and public humiliation. Jim Jones has already been spotted publicly separating from Chrissy Elkin, which has sparked rumors about their future together. Will they remain together, or is this the beginning of their demise? As the investigation moves forward, it's evident that the damage has already been done. The public's trust has been destroyed, and no amount of damage control can repair this. In the next section, we'll explore the possible fallout from all of this. From the media to legal action, the drama is only getting hotter. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss what happens next. As the dust settles, the fallout from Camron's shocking testimony continues to reverberate through the streets, the media, and the lives of Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin. The implications are extensive, and we're only beginning to explore how this scandal will alter their futures. Long-term impact and the serious repercussions they now face. To begin, let's discuss the legal ramifications. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin were recently the target of multiple high-profile lawsuits after Camron's revelations. Legal experts have stated that the money laundering accusations alone could result in decades of prison time if found guilty. This isn't just a minor legal matter that they can ignore. Rather, it's the kind of case that sends people to federal prison. If the federal government begins to investigate the underworld connections Camron mentioned, we're talking about charges of racketeering and organized crime, which could make the scandal even more dangerous for them. More bizarre, the investigation into Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin has now expanded to several states, with investigators examining bank accounts, real estate transactions, and business dealings that may connect them to larger criminal enterprises. Camron's testimony has essentially opened a floodgate of scrutiny, from offshore accounts to luxury real estate holdings. The more the authorities look, the more they will find, and this could result in some serious criminal charges. The clock is ticking, and the walls are closing in. Now let's talk about the public backlash. When you're a celebrity, everything you do is scrutinized. And when something like this happens, we've all seen the jokes, the commentary, and the public shame that follow a celebrity's downfall. But the real problem here is the long-term harm to their brands. Both Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin have spent years constructing their public personas as a respected rapper, and Chrissy Lampkin as the ride-or-die girlfriend from Love and Hip Hop. But Camron simply destroyed that image. Fans who once adored them are now doubting everything they thought they knew. And let's not even get started on the rappers and celebrities who are now separating themselves from. In the world of reality TV, public perception is crucial. And after Camron dropped those bombshells in court, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin's relationship is now under intense scrutiny. The once strong public image of them as a couple who have stuck together through thick and thin is now called disagreement. Those who once hailed them as role models or inspirations are now silent, and some are even turning their backs in light of this scandal. Their relationship may never fully recover from this scandal. Whether they survive as a couple or not, one thing is certain. This scandal has changed the dynamics of their relationship, and it will only get worse from here. However, it's not just about personal relationships and public perception. The financial fallout is going to be huge. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin were once living luxuriously, from real estate deals to private jets, and they were the epitome of wealthy, successful celebrities. As rumors about infidelity, manipulation, and money issues swirl, fans are beginning to wonder if this is the end of their relationship. The world is in danger because of the money laundering and other alleged criminal activities that Camron revealed. Their assets are being frozen, and if the federal investigation results in convictions, they could very well face bankruptcy. These are not small fines. We're talking about millions of dollars in potential fines, asset forfeitures, and damaged business ventures. If this case goes to trial and they are found guilty, the financial consequences could be so severe that they will have to sell off their assets, which could include their homes, businesses, and even luxury cars. This isn't the Hollywood dream they were living before. Instead, it's a nightmare that could destroy everything they've worked so hard to achieve. The media will continue to cover every turn as the legal battles progress, and let me tell you, that the more coverage they receive, the more they will be dragged through the mud. They will be forced to face a public trial by fire, where every detail of their lives will be picked apart and analyzed. Now let's talk about what happens next. Will Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin be able to salvage their careers and their personal lives? Or is this the last chapter in their rise to fame? Camron's testimony has already shifted in the mainstream media, with some outlets calling it the scandal of the decade, while others say this could be the end of their careers. The game, and it's difficult to imagine a world in which they escape this unscathed. The best they can hope for is a lesser sentence in the court of public opinion, but even that seems unlikely at this point. The truth is that this is not just a scandal, but a cultural shift. This is the kind of incident that changes entire industries, making fans reevaluate their allegiance, celebrities question their behavior, and even the media reevaluate how they portray their stars. In the end, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin may never be able to repair their reputations. The consequences will be felt for years to come. Reveal some dark secrets, he started a series of events that could completely ruin the lives of Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin. While the legal battles are still ongoing, the damage to their reputations has already been done. Will this be the last nail in the coffin for this once powerful couple? Or will they manage to escape the wreckage of their own making? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: they will never be the same again. And there you have it. Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin have been exposed, and the fallout from this scandal is just getting worse. The legal battles, the public outcry, and the financial collapse they are facing are all happening more quickly than anyone could have anticipated. But the thing is that we don't know how far this goes. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments section below because, trust me, this isn't just their story, it's everyone's story. The truth is out there and we're just getting started. Don't forget to hit the bell and like this video for more exclusive exposés so you don't miss any of the juicy details we've got coming up next. Secrets are lurking in the shadows. What other celebrities might be involved? This story is far from over, and trust me, we're going to be right here to break it all down for you.